Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just watching, stop, go rewind, watch those last two games, because it was a one-sided affair in game number 1. It was a 55-minute slugfest in game number 2, and now Sin have gone all the way. They're now about to take on the Gigabyte Marines, the first seed and the favorites coming into this tournament.
I just want to say I told you so. Yesterday, I sat on the end of this desk and I was saying, Sin, honestly, I want you to lose to Unsold Stuff Gaming because I want to see them in. I want to see OPL and specifically Sin in this Gauntlet King of the Hill format, and they are just absolutely popping off. Nobody would have expected them to knock out the third and second place team by themselves, and they've done. They now face the Gigabyte Marines.
I mean, especially before this tournament began, you have to have a look at it and think this is the 5th place current OPL team. They were slumping. They needed to rally. They needed their captain and junglers to stand up. And Juice has arrived in Vietnam and absolutely taken over Rift Rivals so far.
I mean, he was so excited to finally go to an international event and represent Oceania. You can see the reactions there from not only the Sin players, but Legacy as well as the Direwolves after Sin were able to pick up that victory.
I mean, just hats off to them. They've got 3 rookies, and none of them have been overseas. None of them have any international experience. This is hard.
Tubes looks drunk. He's stumbling around. It's just like, oh my god, what is happening? Can't believe it. Taking a sip of his drink.
That's
patting
why
the boys on the back.
That's why they banned Gragas away from him.
Yeah, he's definitely the leader of that team. Look at him go. I think these boys will be so excited. As you said, the rookies playing overseas. First international tournament. They've taken out almost all 2/3 of the GPL right now, facing off against the first seed. Exciting.
I mean, it's all happening. It really is all happening. You can see that the other Oceanic teams are pumped up. Carvin's shaking Tubes' head, trying to give him the pep talk. I mean, we've seen earlier today, Soulstrikes is standing next to Schönfire, just whispering sweet nothings into his ear the whole time.
Soulstrikes was standing in the huddle with Bensel and the rest of Sin after the first game. So obviously, we heard from Warlock the GPL teams haven't been working together too much. But if a coach for Legacy is standing inside the Sin huddle after their game, they're obviously helping each other out, and it's just paying dividends.
I want to see whether Sharp is there now and whether they're actually giving a lot of the message behind who the seeds are that they're playing. Because you've got to remember that Legacy was supposed to play Ascension in this. That is the second seed versus second seed, so it makes sense for Soul Strikes to be there, to bring them back down and say, this is the game plan we run, we beat them as well. And I wonder now if it's up to Sharp to be, you know, Bensel, this is what I got for you. Put your boys to task. Make it work. Well, I got goosebumps, by the way.
Before we get into this next match and break it down a little bit further, we actually have Hingers standing by with the captain of Legacy, Carbon. Let's hear about his thoughts over those last 2 games.
Hey guys, I'm here with Carbon again, and Sin, taking a second win today. How you feeling about that?
Pretty good. I mean, that was a very intense game, very exciting. A lot of fun to watch as an O's fan, especially like when you get 50 minutes of build-up and then release at 55. Like, yeah, it's pretty cool experience.
Oh, hey, buddy. Don't you have a game to go play now?
Oh, yeah, sorry, bye.
No, I want to ask about a couple of things. The first thing I want to ask about is the Sivir pick, right? So I know the cast were very down on it, but it seemed to me that they were going, look, we know Docker's going to be split pushing, so let's just get a team fight comp and then try and dominate that.
Yeah. I don't know. When I saw it in the draft, I was a bit surprised because like Sivir traditionally gets railed pretty hard by Kate, but he played the lane pretty well. I mean, the new Doran shield helps. And then he was super relevant for most of the game. I mean, Sin really only pulled it back out at the end when Fiora kind of got to 6 items. So I like the Sivir pick.
Yeah, all right. You like the Sivir pick?
I did.
Yeah, take that, casters. All right, so looking at the tournament now as a whole, right? Sin have gone 2 wins today. They face the Gigabyte Marines. Now they're about to go face off against them, which means that now if Gigabyte Marines win that, they're going to face you guys, and then potentially you, or they might face Direwolves if you guys can't take them down either.
Yeah.
So, as a pro who's played in these kind of gauntlet style or best of 5s before, I mean, are they going to be warming up into this? Is Sin warm now? Like, what's the mentality of a pro right now?
Yeah, so my kind of theory behind it is in a best of 5, you usually start getting tired around like game 4. So like the first 3 games, you're kind of warming into like game 3 where you probably play your best, like subjectively, of course. And then game 4 and 5 is kind of when fatigue starts to kick in. So I think for this game, Sin is going to be warmed up from their first 2 games that they played. I mean, that one was obviously pretty long, so maybe a little bit drained from that. But then Gigabyte Marines are coming in cold. So fingers crossed that Sin can kind of just like come bursting out the gate, early game, just is on point. Juice mechanics just lit, super lit. But then conversely, like if Sin lose, and we coming out cold against Gigabyte Marines, if we lose, then Gigabyte Marines will have had 2 games practice to play against Direwolves who haven't played at all today. So It could go both ways.
All right. Well, as an impartial member of the broadcast team, I obviously do have no favourites in this. But, you know, for you, obviously, as an O's fan, you want to see Sin win. And, yeah, hopefully we won't have to see you play today for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, nah, like I wouldn't mind playing, to be honest. I mean, it's kind of why I flew here. I didn't come here as a spectator, but at the same time, win's a win, so we'll take it.
All right, we'll go back to you guys out of the studio. Thanks, guys.
I understand what's going on. Half the time, Carbon is a little bit confused with his answers, and Rogue just doesn't know where he's going. He's got a bloody game to play.
Yeah, clearly he wants Legacy to play because he's not even taken to the stage to set up for the next match.
And Carbon's talking about Juice mechanic. I do want to highlight Carbon's fidget spinner mechanics that we saw at the top of the show.
Yeah, when Sin won that team fight over, he like smacks himself and then he like, yes, and then immediately hits his fidget spinner.
Lets it rip and he's on the thumb only.
He has the balance going. But I do want to mention something that we talked about, you guys with Juice talked about before the game, and Carbon mentioned there, like the Civer pick, and something really interesting that makes these international tournaments special is that different regions play differently, right? And you get to see these stylistic clashes, and so we're talking briefly about like the draft, how you're giving Sin the Caitlyn, the Thresh again, and we talked about like kind of disrespect. Like, is it disrespect, or they seem to have the answer? Yeah, the Civer into the Caitlyn, traditionally the losers, but Carbon was saying he played it really well. Like, it's just. Like, I'm just noting, like, it is so interesting when these styles clash and how it works and how the game is not just like this. It's not just this team is better than this team. It's these styles, like how they interact with one another and how they play against.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the big thing for me about Civer is she is unrivaled when she gets access. The access is the hard part. And when you're running things like Valking in Corki, Alistair, she's going to get access at some point because there's just so many threats to deal with. And you can see that she torches them for 33,500 damage. At the same time, there's nearly 50,000 damage coming out of Kate. You know why, Fish? Because she has access from like a screen and a half away. Caitlyn has very long range.
Yeah, FBI and Rogue definitely played that entire game well. They played laning phase well. They played the late game team fights incredibly well as well. It was great to watch.
You mentioned Rogue. That early game was literally all Rogue. Like around the Dragon fight, I had a lot of respect for him. His Thresh is actually so clean. He was flash ulting to break the Civer spell shield and then going for the hook. And then after that happened in the river and Lloyd had been hooked a few times, I think I'm going to give a lot of respect to Rogue. Now, I think he was intentionally missing hooks under turret to mind game Lloyd into using his spell shield to waste mana, and then they immediately dove in with Juve. So, like, I think that is just the mark of a really great player. He's not just playing his champion into the matchup, he's playing against his opponent as well.
And he hits all of the hooks that you must hit. And what I'm talking about, that one hook where Nooney's running between the wall and the turret, you have to hit that. If you're going to pick Thresh, you have to be able to combo it. You have to be able to drag him into box, drag him into traps. That is a free kill. And whenever Rogue's in a situation like that, he never panics. I mean, he looks cool as a cucumber, is able to execute like 100% of the time on those must-hit plays, and then gets a fair chunk of, you know, the ones that you can hit as well.
And we know he's a very confident player. He's gone out on Twitter publicly and said, ban Thresh when you play against me time and time again. I've got Mr. Koala here shaking the screen. It's pretty cute. But we're about to get into the second match, guys. Third match here. The first one was too quick. I didn't know we were going to the third one yet. They're going to the third match here today, guys. Sin have tried to run the gauntlet already, and they're going up against the hometown favorites and #1 seed from the GPL, Gigabyte Marines.
And Gigabyte Marines traditionally, or not so much traditionally, but throughout the beginning of this tournament, they have had shaky early games, you were saying. And as we were just mentioning, Sin's early game, that game was really promising.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, they fell behind versus Direwolves. Direwolves didn't punish. I mean, they took a couple of sloppy fights. Gigabyte Marines, as a good team will when you do that, takes back the game, takes Baron, wins the game very quickly. I mean, they played about 10 minutes of League of Legends, and that's all it took. Against Rampage, however, they played once again a sloppy early game, and it was actually Rampage that stuck on top of them and didn't make that mistake.
But Sin, in these games, they have sort of been making that mistake. First game, absolute stomp, very well played. But in that game, they had the early lead, and then Ryoma got caught in the middle lane, got packaged on by the Corki, and that really slowed down the game and let Ascension set up the 1-3-1, and that was kind of the stall point for Sin's early snowball. So I guess we're looking for Sin in this game to not make that mistake and just push through their early game advantage they should have over the Gigabyte Marines, and then push it to late and close out the game.
Completely agree, because what you have to remember when you look at that game too was Rogue was 6 items when Lloyd was 3.5 items, and he was buying cheaper items than what, not Rogue, FBI, sorry. FBI was 6 items to 3.5, and he had sold his boots like very, very early into that game, I think before anyone else had got to late game build. So whilst like we're confirmation bias, and it's like, yeah, Civer did work at the 40-minute mark, there was also a good 40 minutes beforehand that FBI was completely unstoppable.
Well, let's take a look at the opponents for Sin here. They're going up against Gigabyte Marines, and this is going to be their roster. Up in the top lane, it's going to be Archie with Levi, their superstar jungler, heading into the jungle. Optimus, their mid laner. No Way, their new AD carry. And Sia, a support who has come in, who we did not know about. He was the substitute originally coming to this tournament, who has stunned people, especially on Thresh.
And talk about, yeah, stunning people and on Thresh. These two teams are big pickers of Thresh. Sia, in the very first game of the tournament, his Thresh play was absolutely on point. I was really impressed. I'd be interested to see if it gets through the draft. Sin are blue side this game, and then we see the Thresh ban immediately. That's a lot of respect, given that Rogue just had such a good performance on the champion. It pulled him to the win. To immediately ban it, I think shows a lot of restraint.
Does this mean that he wants to play Zyra? I mean, that's a big question for me, because Blitzcrank's still available, and Sia has shown that he can play the champions with Q that can hook you, so see whether he does pull it out. Of course, in the words of TM's captain and support player, T-Gun, Sin will ban Zac on blue side because Jubes sucks at Zac. I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but he certainly has struggled on the pick. He said he hasn't had that much practice, and he thinks that it's just something that is a little bit of a trap.
I mean, and honestly, he did struggle on the Kha'Zix that game. His champion pool does have limits, I think. And we're not seeing too many jungle bans in this game. They do ban away the Lee Sin. So Zac and Lee Sin off the table. We may see an Elisa or Rek'Sai ban coming out of Gigabyte Marines now.
Well, one thing we do know about Sin from interviews with Bensel is that they know that teams can target Juve's jungle pool, and they always have something ready in case he gets completely banned out. We've seen this all off in the past. Kha'Zix was the first one to surprise us, and Gragas has been left open, which is their first pick. Lee Sin ban towards Levy. We have a Thresh ban over against Sia, Caitlyn, and Talia being banned out straight away by Gigabyte Marines. Already a lot of respect shown between these two teams.
And I like this because we know that Archie and Levi are going to attack Jubes and Dockler. So they've grabbed Gragas, and in both situations, he is probably one of the safest blind picks in both jungle as well as the top lane. So not going to be that explosive person, although he gets a little bit more dynamic when he gets the ultimate available. But certainly is a good first pick to not really give all that much away.
Tom Kench locked in for Gigabyte Marines without Thresh on the table.
You did mention the Zyra before this, and I feel like the Zyra matchup into the Tom Kench is fairly good. Yeah, Jhin Zyra would be very potent in punishing the melee versus range matchup. Varus, fairly short range in the early game, like before he gets his items and actually does any damage with his Q sort of thing. There we go. They look like they're hovering, and there's the lock-in.
Again, Bensel doing really well with the drafting for Sin.
Yeah, he's a smart guy, Benson. I mean,
and he's got sharpened soul strikes in his back pocket helping him out as well.
And he's up against Tinnikun, one of the most successful coaches in the GPL and in Southeast Asia. He's brought up the likes of SOFM. Levi has coached multiple teams to success in the GPL.
He's also got a pretty fly shirt on.
I was about to say, yeah, that's
You rock those every now and again, Fish, and he wears them much better.
He certainly does. Meanwhile, Gigabyte Marines have been able to pick up Elise as their jungler of choice. That's been left through the first couple of pick phases.
I've just been told that Bensel looks quite good as well. I mean, Bensel is very much a Melburnian, I feel, in his appearance, although he's not, I don't think he is from Melbourne, but he's got a very hipster shirt on.
Absolutely. As we do see the Elise lock in into the Gragas, fairly decent matchup. Has a lot of ability to punish him and push him around the map early.
Punishes him in range form, and that's something we don't talk about a lot in Elise, but Gragas, Nidalee, and Elise both punish Gragas very hard in range form.
So that's a Rek'Sai ban coming out from Gigabyte Marines. They don't think that this is going to be a Gragas jungle coming out for Sin.
Yeah, well, that'll be the reason that they locked in the bot lane for Sin on that second rotation on the blue side. Like, they are holding the flex into the second rotation. They are going to have to show it after Gigabyte Marines take their first pick. So ultimately, they will get at least a counter pick.
So they don't also think that it isn't the jungle either, because they now take away Fiora.
I mean, it's a big respect ban as well, because they did pick up Elise, and Rek'Sai, as you've mentioned quite a few times during this tournament, Spawn has been picked up recently to throw into Elise, and does well in that matchup.
And I mean, Dockler, his first game of the day was actually very good, and then he picked the Fiora into the Renekton, and we were discussing it's a bit of a skill matchup, but I think Renekton just wins. Kind of like as we saw in the lane matchup. So he's a pretty...
I think he wins early. I think the skill comes in. Like, how much can you fall behind without dying that you still have a relevant mid to late game?
Yeah, and I'm just saying, like Dockler seems to be a very confident player, right? To pick that matchup and know that you're going to get through the early game is a confident move, as they do lock in the Kennen.
Yeah, Archie's picked up Kennen again in the top lane. He's known for his Gragas play, so Sin have already taken that champion away. Kennen's the only champion he's shown this tournament.
And I'm just wondering, what do you play if you're Dockler into the Kennen? Do you play your Jace? Because I like this pick. If that is what they're going to go for, this is relatively safe. I say that, like, and now someone's going to solo die. But it is very heavily impacted from jungles. And I think that Juves is going to look to cheese Archie. He's going to level 2 gank him top lane.
And remember when Dockler first appeared on the Sin lineup, the only thing we really knew about him was he played Jace top lane. That's it. That's literally all the information we had, whereas Flares, we had a little bit more when he first joined in Split 1. The final pick for Sin is going to be Syndra for Ryoma. That was hovered by No Way. Optimus now gets a chance to show his counter.
And you've been involved in this, but what they've got is they've got 2 shoving lanes where you have to be really careful, and then Juice pops up somewhere on the map. And in the Gauntlet, it was twice he popped up in the top lane when Flares was playing the Ignite Fizz. Jace has a lot of damage that comes out surprisingly at level 1 and level 2. And Kennen, unfortunately, doesn't have a gap closer to get away like someone like Fiora or Renekton. So that's why I think that this is a good setup for it.
Yeah, and very interesting last pick in the Orianna, I think, for Gigabyte Marines. Traditional counters for Syndra are such things as like the Echo, Optimus. Maybe he doesn't play it. The Orianna matchup has always really favored the Syndra, so picks himself into a bad matchup. Maybe he thinks it's good. Obviously, like they would have picked it for a reason.
It is, again, like most mid laners, a very comfortable champion for Optimus. He's played it forever, and he's very, very comfortable with it.
See, the thing that surprises me is that there's no one to take the Orianna ball into the back line. So he's going to have to hit the shockwave himself, which is actually hard to do.
Put it on Kennen.
Tom Kench ulti in.
Put it on Kennen.
This is
double
a serious
big
game. This is the last game we could potentially see of the game. Could I please have some focus?
I believe in Sin. This is the last game.
I mean, but yeah, so Orianna, any big shockwave is either going to be leaving the ball behind in a choke and letting them run over the top of it, or him being very aggressive and looking for them proactively, which is difficult to do.
I mean, could the Orianna pick be to try and supplement this 1-4 split push, give them a bit of wave, a bit of control in these team fights?
Do they win the 1-4 split push? I mean, I really think it depends who gets ahead out of the Jace and the Kennen. I mean, if Kennen gets ahead, 100% they win. But if Jace, gets a kill, gets 2 kills, maybe gets a creep wave advantage, he's going to also look to punish.
And honestly, neither team really has a lot of engage, right? Like, we're talking about the 1-4. This is probably, as you say, going to be coming down to the split pushes because they've got the Varus ulti, potentially like an Orianna pick. Then you've got the Syndra on the other side. Jhin has decent engage,
Jhin
long range.
Gragas is pretty good engage.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, like Gragas engage is unless you get a flank, right? It's very broadcast, and you know exactly what's coming. Like he's just going to run at you. He hits the body slam flash. You can flash out of it now if they don't throw the ulti too early. So
I'm about to head on to Summoner's Rift for the 3rd match of this King of the Rift format. Sin, they've been able to take down 2 of the Southeast Asian seeds and now up against tournament and home crowd favorites of Gigabyte Marines.
And Rogue already getting a little bit bullied in that bottom lane, needs to be careful. If Sin don't have good engage, what they do have is really good siege. Because with Syndra balls, with the plants that are going to come out as well as the ultimate from Zyra, you can't actually stick around underneath turret all that long. So I expect Optimus, who's a very good player, by the way, to have to burn a couple of shockwaves to break up sieges and try and force Sin around the map a little bit.
And you do see Ryoma go for the cleanse, whereas Optimus has opted in for the ghost. So Ryoma respecting the engage potential out of the Varus ulti, whereas if you get tagged by a Zyra plant and then a Jhin W, Optimus doesn't have a way to get out of
Optimus is going to go for the disruption as well. We've seen this out of Sin already. You can see that he's just waiting around the corner. Actually doesn't go for it.
Decides not to. As Juves will be able to get a small leash from Syndra starting on this Raptor camp.
And in the bottom lane, you see Gigabyte Marines actually going for the leash on the blue buff there. In the range versus melee matchup, it's one of those decisions where they've decided they know they're going to get pushed in by the Zyra early, and they're not going to be able to contest the wave at level 2. So they give the help to their jungler so he can get to the top lane before Juves and potentially influence the
So there's no way. I know that in Karma and Zyra, with Q and E on Tahm Kench, people, especially in the European LCS around Worlds time, which is a long time ago, so I'm asking a question, I'm not making a statement, thought that there was a way to be able to contest for level 2. Is that just completely gone now? I mean,
as the Tahm Kench, I feel like you have to misplay on the Zyra's behalf. Okay. You should never let the Tahm Kench get into a position. His all-in is obviously very strong. He can burn your flash if you miss position, and then he blows the exhaust and gets a 3-proc passive, but if they were able to set up the plants level 1, which they were, and get in there, they shouldn't be able to contest.
This is very aggressive from Levy. He's been able to go blue walls to red, finishing it faster than Juves, and is now on to Juves blue himself. Might actually just wait for the Gragas to show up here, and in fact, that's what he's doing. Let's see if Juves falls for this.
Yeah, and we've already...
Ward placed down. Juves could have seen that. We saw that was the vision perspective from Sin.
He should have seen that.
I mean, at the
I think
same
gone back to
time,
base.
Optimus has just ran over here, so he knows that something is up, and good read out of Juves. He actually gives up on any form of topside aggression and just goes back.
However, this might be the fact that Gigabyte Marines have been able to watch 2 games of Sin, because this is not the first game Juice has gone from Raptors red to Wolves base. So Levi might have been able to got that information and known that he's not coming for his blue or his Gromp.
And it's also partially because of the leash in the bot lane, right? At least got there so quick. Juves, although he did take a longer path, Levi was able to finish both his buffs, do the wolf camp, and then get over there before Juves actually got to the blue.
It's also, I mean, you just have to look at what's happening. Levi hasn't touched any AoE camps,
Yeah.
apart from the Wolves, which are very, very quick still. So Elise is going to be the best jungler, along with maybe Lee Sin, at clearing out the big solo camps because of the percentage health damage at this stage of the game. So that's just smart pathing, and it's a good punish.
I feel like this is still all right for Sin. As long as Levi's not in those lanes, Sid should be happy. Evidently so in that bottom lane trade from FBI. Just chunks out No Way again. He's stuck on the Doran shield, already popped his potion. FBI is the aggressor with that Doran's Blade pickup.
Yeah, and with the Doran's Blade, FBI and Rogue are obviously very confident in that matchup. Picking up the lack of regen, Doran's shield has so much value in the lane phase, so he opts for the Doran's Blade again. He did it in the Caitlyn versus Sivir matchup last game. So obviously very confident in the ability to 2v2.
Ooh, Levi has stopped his Krug camp halfway to move towards topside of map. Doppler does not have a ward at the moment. You can see he's playing very defensively to kick things off. Levi forced to go back to base.
Yeah, and now they're
Good
thinking,
read.
does he actually have a ward? Because he's just gone back and taken a Q at the wave, and Doppler is playing very patiently.
Yep, here he comes. Doppler is going to try and walk off this one. Cocoon comes out, still lands. Great skill shot being thrown up by Levi. They're going on forward. First blood is picked up by Levi.
Flash first and just worry about it later. I mean, that's really sloppy play out of Doppler, because that was a great read. He should have been able to waste all that time, shouldn't have had to base. Now first blood goes over. And as we said, it's a volatile matchup.
They're looking for a dive in the
I don't
bottom
think
lane.
you can go for this.
They're trying to anyway.
Have to go
Rogue
on
throws
top.
out the hit, hits him. They're going for Sia first. He pops the great health and flashes away. Juve needs to get out of there. Heal comes at FBI. He's moving on further forward. He's exhausted. Has the crit shot, saves it, flashes for it, picks up a kill.
Yeah, really nicely done, actually. So they perfectly played it. Orianna coming down, however, this could be a double kill.
They got to be careful.
Spot her.
Optimus, full health. Juves jumps in first, tries to lock it down. He may be the sacrificial lamb, and he is. Optimus flashes on his head and uses the dissonance. Meanwhile, they've also been able to catch out one other member of FBI stuck in the blue side of the jungle.
Yeah, and all of a sudden this game has fallen apart for Sin. They tried to trade sides on the map, but their play so much riskier because of how tanky Talon Kench is.
Absolutely. Definitely a risky play, although FBI...
Ooh, styles on him.
Certainly does. I mean, just gets access to level 6 first, you have to assume, although Optimus has it, and then lands in stun and no summoner spells available.
Yeah, but I mean, I was gonna note that Ryoma was so slow on the rotate down the river. Juves was basically killed by Orianna before he even decided to leave the lane, so obviously got a bit of extra XP, gets that kill on the mid lane.
So I know, Spawn, you're a big fan of the Moby Boots Elise rush here. What about Salk Boots Dark Seal rush for Levi
I
with
think
2
that's
kills?
even more aggressive. He's going to kill him here, maybe.
Looking for the damage at
Doesn't give
least.
him quite that much magic
He's level
stand.
6. He's the same level as
I was
Solo
gonna say,
Ladies.
he's the same level as him. I mean, probably respecting the cleanse and the turnaround damage that can come out of Ryoma. Juves, however, is only level 4, so 2 levels behind Levi. This game, once again, a lot of pressure for the Sin rookies, but they are the ones that need to step up because Ryoma and FBI are the 2 members with the kills, and everyone else is kind of behind at this stage of the game.
Top side of the map has been taken out by Gank. Juice fell in that last skirmish. Levi is now posturing top side of the map with Optimus close behind. Juice has to be careful.
Optimus is also here.
They're pinging it out, so they kind of know where he is. The ward a little bit late. Good prediction coming out from the Gragas. They will not lose their Gromp camp as that gets losing its patience, I should say.
I think Juves did
Teleport
spot him
bottom
with the
lane.
there.
Big flank coming out from Archie. He's looking for the level 6 play. Has his Storm available. FBI has to back out. They're trying to run away from this one. They know something is fishy with No Way and Sia charging forward. No flash from Archie. Can he get away? No flash for FBI. He's going to try and cut this one out. Goes for Sia. Greyo pop. Rogue will fall first. Can he get a return kill? He at least trades 2 for 1. Won't be able to take down anyone else.
Yeah, actually really nicely done because they get the teleport out. They get the ultimate. And they were at least able to trade a kill. You can see that Levi trying to hug top lane turret, trying to help with the experience. But this is a risky call because Doppler still has a lot of damage.
Ooh.
And Kenneth's not going to get a lot out of that play, honestly. He gets a few assists, and then I think in that play, Rogue probably shouldn't have flashed forward. I think he probably should have just ran away. FBI was dead 100%. He wasn't level 6, so the turn damage from the Zyra wasn't going to be too great.
Flashed and ignited, by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Flash ignited. I guess it probably secured the kill for FBI, but I'm fairly certain he would have got it anyway.
Does feel like it's a good trade for Gigabyte Marines though, because bottom side of the map is where Sin are strong at the moment, especially with FBI taking him down and giving 2 kills to No Way is always a good
any
thing.
less strong there now? I mean, they're still up in a shop because you would rather have the BF sword in the extended range at this stage. They lose out on experience, sure, but they've got access to the wave first again. So I don't know whether it really shuts down that. It does kind of equalize.
The 2 kills like to put Sia slightly behind. He's level 4, lowest level on the map.
But it also means, yeah, see, level 4. You talked about the XP differential between the bot lane. FBI and Rogue are both 5, whereas No Way and Sia have split it with the 6 and the 4 off, as he does just tick 5. But the big thing, yeah, OP. The big thing is Levi catching that top wave. He's just going to get more and more ahead of Juves because he wasn't involved in that play. And he has gone for the Salk Boots. He has gone for the I will kill you damage build. So
He needs to do something though, because Juves, late game, he can always flash body blow up ultimate. At least needs to do a lot more than that. He's actually going towards bottom lane. Ultimate thrown out by No Way to stop that gank.
I mean, that is a show for an ultimate straight away, and that is kind of what their defense against a turret dive is. So
Levy is just running straight for the top lane.
Docker's got to be careful. This can be dove. Ultimate is up and available for Archie. And at least really good at diving these turrets with the repel. Drops turret aggro, makes her invulnerable.
Docker's
Docker
just
reads
respecting
this.
the gank, yep.
I mean, but what can they get on the other side of the map? Because otherwise this is just going to be first brick falling over. Maybe not on this wave, but it depends how long they can zone for. You can see Optimus is also cheating up, and that means that Juves has to rotate down to bottom lane again. Maybe the fact that they burnt that ultimate off No Way will be a big deal, but it's still such a risky play.
And Syndra does have the push in the mid lane, but this could potentially just be another situation where Levi's got the advantage in the top lane and they're just hard forcing on the bot side because they think they have to. And it could backfire once again.
Looks like they're just respecting and turret trading. Oh, they miss out on first brick. Just, if they had brought down Juves earlier, that certainly would have been a race they could have won.
But still, gold is in favor of the GPL squad.
I mean, look how much the difference between the GPL squads already in the early game is so stark. The Marines just look like they're in control. From the early invades that came out on Levi to really shut down Jude's pathing that, as we said, it has clearly been scouted. Although, here we go.
Big play bottom lane. Flash is already being burnt. No Way stuck. Ultimate knocks him into the shots. Sia flashes forward, eating up. Good root coming out from Rogue. Main lockdown too. No Way's trying to run away. Rogue gets that kill. 80 carry will live, but they still get a pick for themselves.
Yeah, continue to push through. However, Empowered Recall will come out, but not all that much wave clear on the side of the Marines at this stage of the game, so they should be able to get down some decent damage on this.
Did they use teleport for this? There is teleport available for Doppler. No, he runs towards top side. Ultimate thrown out by No Way. Connects on FBI Cocoon as well. Levi, so much damage from this. Elise picks up a kill.
And I think Sin are just in the mindset of, like, they're losing the trades on the top side of the map, right? Levi got the gank off top, they got the first brick, and then he transitioned straight into the Rift Herald. Because Sin brought Ryoma from the mid lane, Optimus was able to get mid priority back, which leads into the Rift Herald, so they feel like they have to get something on the other side of the map. And this has been a chronic problem for them, and it backfires again. FBI gets tagged by the Varus ulti, and they don't get the inner turret bot.
But they should have got it, because he has flash, he has heal. There's no way that FBI playing at his peak gets nailed by either of those skill shots. And as I said, Levi has to approach the wave if he wants to clear it out. I think that is just FBI trusting himself and unfortunately dropping the ball.
And I mean, it could be a bit of nerves. In the last game, you saw him not flash a very broadcast alley combo that led to a big swing in the game. So that's 2 from 2. This doesn't seem to be at his peak, I guess, right now.
And they have all the tempo plays at the moment on the side of the Marines. They've got Time Kench ulti if they want to beat them around a rotation.
Yep.
They've got the use of also the Rift Herald that Levi has, not only for the actual Herald itself, but for the empowered recalls and the ability to be able to race around the map. So really
Teleport
right
top.
now, teleport top as well.
Yep, Cannon looking for a play. Ryoma actually taking a lot of damage as well. Here comes Doppler looking for the defense. In fact, they're looking for a kill first. Meanwhile, Optimus has gotten a solo kill returned in the mid lane. Sia is locked down. They get a kill there. Archie wants to try and turn around, but he can't. He has to lightning rush away.
And once again, a member of Sin Gaming dies with both summoner spells available somehow. Didn't see whether there was an assist over onto Levi, but Optimus, in what is a losing lane, has absolutely just styled on Ryoma.
No assists from Levi. He was bottom lane and has used Rift Herald there as well. So that's going to be a turret being taken out. Optimus, full health. No ultimate used by Ryoma. No cleanse, no flash. What the heck's going on?
Oh, and here we go. Oh, nice root.
Good
I mean,
root.
he's
We're going to a
dead.
replay. He's probably dead, but this is the one-on-one play instead. Ryoma just too
He's
low.
just going to flash attack command dissonance him. Yeah.
Ryoma does
Easy
have the
kill.
flash. He just
Meanwhile,
doesn't
top lane,
respect it.
Archie has been taken down. They're looking for a kill into no way, and look at that. Rogue picks up the second one. So they trade Rift Herald play bottom lane for 2 kills top and a turret. This will equalize the goal.
You can tell the spectators in the GPL, by the way. All of a sudden, mid lane, he shows the replay, hides the fact that there's just been a double kill that's gone down on the top side of the map. That turret will fall as well. Huge equalizing play for Sin. Actually puts them ahead in gold for now.
Yeah, and I think Levi was briefly looking at the Dragon, but he does know that his team's down in tempo. They have to answer the top wave, so he just gives over the blue to Optimus, looking to clear his camps out.
Of course, people at home right now are spamming. You can tell you're from the OPL, and yes, I am. So,
Twitch.tv/OPL.
oh, this is real unlucky. He thought that his spiderlings were going to pick it up for him.
Nah.
Hate it when that happens. He still had
At
2
least-
out as well.
At least he didn't reset the buff. That's the OPL special.
That's the
You
O
can tell he's
special.
not from our region, you know.
Well, let's check in with the gold at the moment. Bottom lane, it is in favor of FBI. Roma slightly behind. Big lead for Levi, but Dockler doing just fine in the top lane.
Levi's 1,600 gold up.
The biggest gold difference is between Rogue and Sia at the moment. Rogue's got 3 kills.
And I mean, a portion of that gold for Levi as well will be the local gold from the bot turret. Here, as that play top happened, he was dropping the Rift Herald, got the top outer all by himself, got to take a few camps.
Ooh. He is a Haunting Guise and Dark Seal ahead of Jews at the moment, so big damage from this at least.
Yep.
But, I mean, as a support player, you look at 3 kills and you're like, wow, that's such wasted gold. And then you look at the fact that it is Zyra and that everyone is so squishy on the side of the Marines, and you think maybe, just maybe, this is a game you can take off. And then I guess the sentiment is echoed with Elise, because you're like, Elise doesn't scale all that well. You don't want to have gold on it. Then you look at how squishy everyone is. Oh, he's been hit.
He uses the cleanse to get away from that one. Cocoon goes wide as well. Lockdown not connecting from FBI. They still chip away at that turret quite effectively.
So mercurial, you cannot hit that guy with a skill shot.
And I mean, you just have to question whether Levi has done enough with his early gold, right? Like, has he used this gold and got enough out of it with these early purchases with the Haunting Guys and the Sork boots, namely?
But does he
to
fall
pay
off all that much this game? Because if he catches Rogue, if he catches FBI, he'll still kill
They're
them
looking
late
for a
game.
flank. Optimus is charging in for it. They're looking to burst the turret. Good ultimate coming out from the Zyra.
Big
Shockwave
shockwave.
hits 2. FBI and Ryoma, both the carries for Sid. Levi cleans up 1. Goes for the support next. We'll be able to get a kill there. FBI trying to help him out. He might have just run into his own death. Shutdown coming out for the jungler. Levi wants 3. He gets 3 kills.
And all of a sudden, the Gigabyte Marines just swing it back again. They knew that they were going to overcommit for the turret. They read the play. The flank comes out. And Optimus, we said no ball delivery system. No
Blame it on-
worries.
doesn't
Nails it.
And absolutely, the best thing for me about that play was halfway through the fight, I swear, Gigabyte Marines decided they knew they were going to win. Kennen and Jace were rotating at the same time, and Archie's just like, you know what, we're going to win this anyway. And he goes back down to bot, and he picks himself up a free turret on the back of that team fight.
That gives them a 2,000 gold lead, as well as an extra dragon for themselves. Sin now well and truly behind the Gigabyte Marines. Most of the gold, though, it's on Levi.
10 stack Dark Seal,
Yeah.
if you do not mind. I'm the man of the moment.
I just
600.
want to note. I just want to note that Sia is. He's playing for the team. He might be 0-5 right now, but every single time Noah has been caught by a Zyra or caught by a Syndra stun, he has flash eaten him and then just received the brunt of the damage.
Yep. Levi,
Being knocked up. He's still got him in his tummy. He's just like, come on, you're with me now.
Yeah.
Levi's
I'll
score,
save you.
though, is the same number as Juice's IQ, so he's showing him something at the
600?
moment.
600 IQ.
Dockler still trying to split push in the bottom lane. He's picked up his Yomu's Ghost
That
Blade
was a
and
reach, by
Bridge
the
2.
way, Fish. That nearly went over my head. That really nearly went over my head. I was like, 6? Is he just BM'd the legend of
man, the myth.
Oceania?
600,
Right now?
think
come
with,
on. He's 6'4".
A man with 600 IQ wouldn't be behind an Elite at this stage of the
Wouldn't
game,
be
especially
behind 2,800
2.8k.
Oh, that's a lot of gold.
That
But
is-
Elise, very squishy
That is
target.
the lead. So
That
if you
is
blow up
the lead.
Levi, all of a sudden, game's dead even.
No, it's actually 800. It's in his favor even as well.
Yeah.
As we do see Dockler recalling. Sin looked just like a reset. Do we see any 1-3-1? Both these comps are looking by the 1-4. As we talked about briefly earlier. At what stage do these top laners win in the fight? Win in the 1v1?
I mean, we've got a heck. Oh, that's good.
Oh, they catch out Optimus. Can they kill him? He's not
flash.
further away and eaten up by Sia.
Shouldn't be able to. Oh, Merc Treads. Actually, you can flash it. So with Merc Treads, you can always flash it.
And this is something we were noting, right? That is the Gragas engage, and there goes the Jin ulti. They're the two champions with any sort of engage on the Sin's lineup. So Gigabyte Marines have a window here where Sin can't really get on them and stop them doing what they're doing. Levi is looking for a pick on Dockler in the bottom lane, but he is respecting it. No inner turret there, so he's just going to wait for Kennen to push in the wave.
Kennen outright wins most matchups when he gets Frozen Mallet.
Yeah.
That's when he, like, right now he's annoying and he's going to whack you a couple of times, but maybe you can turn it around with some outplay. As soon as he gets Frozen Mallet, it's generally you cannot, like, out-trade him anymore. Dockler, on the other hand, he's going towards some early pen and also grabs what, like, people are going to say that's a weird item, but he knows that a lot of the damage that comes out of Kennen is still going to be magic. And Elise is also a threat here. Jubes has been scouted out.
Elise is a threat. Elise is
Look at Levi and Archie at the moment. They're posturing for a big play.
Maybe.
He's stuck there. He's
sees
got to
them.
try and flash over this wall, I think. Does he even have it available? He's going to body slam into the wall and take down by No Way. Not great. Still looking for a fight, though. Dockler wants this one. Shock Blast does not connect. That would have chunked out Levi.
Certainly would have. The reason they continued it is because they can see that Optimus right now is in the top side of the map. So that's a 4v4, even though Jubes died. Good decision by Marines. They get the pick, they walk away, and this pick-style League of Legends will continue because Levi is huge.
And Gigabyte Marines are, as they look for the stun on Dockler, don't quite get it. They're just looking to break the mid-outer tower right now. That is the most important turret on the map. Does he
Levi
one-shot him?
wants to go over the wall, doesn't. Instead,
die
he might
here,
pay
though?
for this one. Rogue flashes forward, forces a flash out of Levi.
I mean, that's a really bold call from Levi. He knows that he has the potential to die there, get some good damage down, wants to continue to win that split that they're been doing so well in. But unfortunately for Rogue, just doesn't get that route.
And Tom was floating up with the Orianna. I thought he was looking to push in that wave with the Ori and then ulting and look for the mid turret. They would have had the collapse, but they don't pull the trigger on that. It is kind of like a pseudo 1-3-1 right now. Ori is just cheating to the top lane, pushing in the wave, and then rotating back to Siege's turret. They are looking for the outer now.
Let's see if they can get it. Noah's going to get a couple auto attacks down. Shockwave connects into FBI. Big damage from Optimus. Sia will eat him up and get him back to safety.
And they can just do that every 20 seconds. Whenever Talm W is off cooldown, it doesn't matter if anybody gets rooted. I mean, Orianna's not going to have the ulti back up, but the QW chunk. FBI is already, I guess he's healed up back up now as he goes to the fountain, but he was 1/3 HP.
What does Levi buy? He's gone back. He's just gone purely Andrews. Picks up a blasting one as well.
I hope it is a Rylai's Crystal Scepter. And the reason I
Not
say
the Void
that
Star.
is if it stays in the lane like this, one of the things that, you know, champions like Nidalee, champions at Elise can do is just throw out their skill shot in the W and the Q respectively. Look for the Runic Echoes procs, and then you get the slow. And then the team fight just becomes a little bit easier to set up. You don't have all that much engaged, so you have to look for it from weird and wonderful places when you have champions like Elise. And I think that that also helps with, you know, getting picks on Cocoon and being able to... Oh, Juve is dead again.
Juve's just caught out inside the river. He's going to try and flash away from this one. Levi relentlessly chasing him down. Will pick up that first kill. No Way trying to back this up. Sia jumps in as well. And that's just poor positioning from Juice.
I mean, they can also just bait Baron because they have all the vision. Oh, Scuttle Crab's there, though. I was going to say, they have a lot of vision over that area, so can just look to continue to punish.
Looks like they're cheating into the top jungle here, going to get the vision, looking for a flank on mid potentially. Or he's actually going to catch the top wave.
Ori ghosted to get towards that top lane. Actually thought she was going to meet Syndra in the jungle, it looked like.
Do they get this turret? There's the ulti. Insta QSS. That was really nice.
They do not want to let this go down. They burn an ulti, they burn a QSS. Next wave, you have to think it's getting close. Although Dockler doing very well, but Levi is streaming down bottom lane.
Yeah, Dockler needs to run. I don't even think he's going to be able to get out in time. Juice is trying to cut him off. Not close enough. Levi in trouble. Dockler says, all right, I've got to try and kill Archie at least.
Flash on his head.
Let's see if he can do it. Levi jumps on top of him and knocks him away. Archie can just turn around, throw a shuriken. Cocoon doesn't land. He dodges it. Dockler still wants it. He gets it. Big outplay from Dockler.
All of a sudden, Dockler comes up, trumps. He's going to be able to teleport out here. Just respects the fact that Levi is still in the area. And that is a huge confidence play out of the rookie.
And that was absolutely perfectly played. He knows if he just flashes and then goes for the melee bop onto the Kennen, Kennen can flash the damage and then hit him with the auto attack. So he buffers the Q with his flash, instant auto, insta kill, and TP's away. That is just very good out of someone who we were doubting coming into this day of play. Had her weak performance in the early stage of the group stage, but today is really stepping up.
Yeah, he's performed well, but they've also just grabbed a dragon and a turret off the back end of that play because it was just very good map positioning coming out of the Gigabyte Marines.
And that gold lead has gone from 2,000 to 4,000 in favor of Gigabyte
And this
Marines.
is what it comes down to. I mean, the fact that the Marines, we said they were a scrappy team. We thought they were going to come into this Rift Rivals and they were going to have a biff. They were going to have a good fight. Stark obviously was their top laner at MSI play-ins, but he was definitely down for a little bit of a rumble. But with Archie, they play a lot more structured fish than I think that we're used to seeing out of a Southeast Asian team. And all of a sudden, even though they lose a 1-0, they still pick up advantages around the map.
And they're still looking for even more. Archie's still pushing bottom side of the map. Sin have regained control over the Baron pit.
Now
they're pulling
cheating
Optimus down. They've got to be
Oriana down
careful. Doppler's going to try and 1v1 him first. Knocks him back. Stun's coming out from Archie. He's flash forward for this one. Doppler does not have his own. Doesn't even need to use his ultimate. Doppler wants to try and take down Optimus. Good damage, but still big pickup for Gigabyte Marines.
He's going to eventually be able to do a lot of damage to these carries. You can see that already. They need to respect the fact that he's quite fed.
And this is such a weird setup from the Gigabyte Marines. You've got the split push full Magic Pen Elise in the top lane. Your mid laner floating with your top laner in the bottom lane, and then their bot lane's just sieging the mid inner.
Split push Magic Pedalese.
Yeah, never heard that one before.
This is the information we got from the GPL shoutcasters, which is that Gigabyte Marines, they're just unpredictable on where they want to attack the map, but when they do, they attack.
And look like they're pushing in for a flank on this mid turret for another time, or it could just be Levi going to that wolf camp, looking to deny Juice. Just extending his lead even further, almost a
3
50
levels.
CS gold lead, 3
It's
levels.
a 5,000 gold lead for Gigabyte Marines as well. What was an even game has now devolved into the GPL's favor at the moment. They are very comfortable with their composition. Optimus just gets a kill onto Rogue, as you do inside the jungle.
Rogue still has flash.
Yeah, just got one shot. Got Shockwave into the combo, and unfortunately, when you're 5 levels down, you die. We saw that out of Ryoma already.
5 level difference is so big. As Azari, already pretty much the squishiest champion in the game that's played in competitive League of Legends, and then Optimus literally one-shots in.
Mid lane turret falls, and that has extended the gold lead to 6,000 in Gigabyte Marines' favor. Sin need to stop the bleeding somewhere because this game's getting out of control, and Gigabyte Marines looking to try and take this one back for the GPL region.
And the one thing with Gigabyte Marines in their setup right now, they were looking at the Baron, right? But they don't actually have a tank. The cannon in the bot lane, not relevant for the Baron fight, at least not that tanky, going for the full damage. Tom Kent, sure, he builds a lot of health, but I support pure frontline in your team comp. They're not actually that good at tanking damage. They don't get a lot of gold, don't get a lot of resist, so Baron kind of shreds through them, so they don't really have the luxury of starting up Baron if they feel like it's a good idea, and then baiting a fight in for Sin, because they can't tank it for very long. They're kind of committed once they start.
Certainly are, and you can see that right now. There's big shops coming out, and whilst they can't do Baron if Sin are aware of it, right now, if Sin are not aware of the Baron take, they do it incredibly quickly. But Levi has once again gone for the GPL special. Fish, get on the horn to your commentator friends, because I do not understand how this Void Staff is relevant at all.
Oh, that makes 2 of us, Spawn. I'll make sure to try and figure out what the heck's going on with Levi here, but he's trying to kill people, and we've seen him do that quite a few times this game.
Yeah, and speaking of items, as he does pick up the Void Staff, Tom is actually going for a Redemption first, which is a bit weird, especially given the Ghost.
Ghost by Optimus. Levi's right behind Ryoma. Throws out the ultimate, looking for the kill. They might be able to shut down Levi. He's repelled away. Can he get down somewhere safely? Rogue over the wall. Levi, he can't die. Finally shut down by Juves. Optimus will fall shortly after.
Yeah, certainly will, and they managed to pick up the team fight victory. That is a 2-for-1 and 2 big shutdown, but No Way still wants in.
Yeah, they still want to fight. No Way wants to try and kill Rogue, who is 1 shot away. He can't cheat back in. Juves got to save him somehow. Can't, not quite close enough. 2-for-2 trade.
I mean, 3-for-2 and they come up with a win. Zara was so low though, not relevant really in the fight. If that cask had come out half a second earlier, potentially Rogue could have escaped with his life, but...
Cheeky recall from Rogue as well. He should have just kept walking.
Yeah, fairly greedy from him. If he just kept walking around, then he probably would have got up with his life. This is a flank.
Let's see if he does. Archie's
No flash available.
Doesn't commit.
Archie doesn't follow the wave down. Archie's a smart player. I've really enjoyed watching Archie play top lane. I mean, people were saying you have to understand that Archie hasn't played it all that long, was a support player. He also was a top laner before that, so that only holds a little bit with me. And I actually think he's been relatively good this tournament.
He was one of the best top laners in the GPL when he played top lane, so he's looking to try and regain that form of glory.
And I mean, speaking of smart plays, coming from support, you don't get a lot of gold down there. You don't do a lot comparatively to your teammates in terms of statistics and damage and kills and that. So
You might want to talk to Rogue, mate.
yeah, the one thing you've got going for you is that you have to be smart, and that's what he's obviously taken into top lane. As Rogue does pick up the full damage build, he's either going potentially for a Void Stuff or maybe just the Rylai's, because there's not a lot of magic resist on the side of the Gigabyte Marines.
He's got 5 kills. He's got to do something with that because Sin's still sitting 5,000 gold behind the Gigabyte Marines.
Potentially that is the reason why Sia on the time went the Redemption, because he's respecting Rogue's AoE damage output, potentially. Although
Lock
Locker
down
does a
Levi.
similar thing.
He's going to have to use the repel. Knock back
nice.
in. Finally uses the repel. Can he get to Sia? He can, just in time.
Ulti can still come out. They can still look to continue this fight, although they might just look at a reprieve and the ability to get some vision control back, because Sin have had none of it all game.
And Archie, knowing he has a TP disadvantage, Doppler is pushing in the bot lane.
I don't think they're going for Baron.
Immediately respects it and just runs straight up the river to mid, knowing they have a numbers disadvantage while Levi's healing off
I
camps.
like the train of thought. I like the fact, they're going for Baron. But what they're actually trying to do is they're like, we have not seen this side of the map in the longest time. That is the first little team fight victory that they get to regain control. Now they go back mid, they shove it out. If they get another pick with the vision that they've just picked up, that's when the Baron becomes a threat. But at this stage of the game, Sin are fighting to survive, not fighting to thrive.
And as you say, Baron
Don't you
is,
reset this blue, gets it. Actually, Archie wants a fight. He's popping the ultimate, going
Everyone's
for the
coming
1-1.
down.
Everyone is coming down, but Dockler has already been taken out by Archie. He didn't even need his friends. Trying to turn this one around. Can he? Blast Coach just there. Jumps on top of Archie's head. Not enough. But Sin pulled the trigger on Baron.
And he does bring the Varus down with him. So yeah, Sin are looking for this Baron. They do have a numbers advantage. The Orianna
Levi level
Shockwave
15.
potentially over the wall.
I mean, you just throw a cask at him. You cannot let him get close. And you can see that Juves is too worried about it. They have to back away from this.
Oh, Shockwave
nice
gets
flash.
flashed out by Ryoma. 3,000 health. Levi looking for the steal. Juve's already in there. Levi jumps in. Does he get it? Taken away by Juves. But big team fight coming out of Gigabyte Marines. They lose nobody and ace Sin.
Not worth.
Yep, absolutely not. Every member of Sin dies, so nobody actually picks up the Baron buff. They get a bit of gold, and it's taken off the map for the Gigabyte Marines, but they're just going to push down mid with this wave, potentially get an in here. The death time is a fairly long. Dockler's going to be 1v5 trying to defend an in here, but I don't think he can. 10 seconds on him and 20 to 30 on the rest of the lineup.
And actually, everything lined up there for Sin, because Optimus with the Shockwave, although it was flashed out of.
Flashed out of.
Then no smite comes across, but it was just actually really well played, because at the same time, they have such a big gold lead. They control the team fight. They control the area, come in from 3 directions. There's no way you can retreat, and they end up picking up that mid lane inhibitor.
And honestly, this is the Tahm Kench and the Talo we've been talking about, kind of budget old TF sort of thing. Helps the macros so much. They get the pick on Dockler in the bot lane with the use of his ulti, and then they just run it up to Baron. Kind of just cheating in a macro sense, and they're taking an exit dragon on their way out as well. So Sin potentially are going to get control of their top side of the map, so they're going to give the blue buff over to Ryoma, I assume. I'd probably look for Gigabyte Marines to set up on the bot side, just because knowing that Sin has the strong side control up there.
Now the Gigabyte Marines now, they're just under 9,000 gold in the lead. Big lead for the GPL squad 30 minutes into the match.
This has actually been a great game of League of Legends out of the Marines. They've made pretty much every proactive play that they can. They've been playing as if they have 3 winning lanes, and you can see that the gold is finally telling that story that they do. And Levi has dominated Juves in the jungle, and that's what we expect out of a world-class jungler. Juves is certainly no slouch and has shown that he can step up in big moments time and time again, and should be proud of his performance. But Levi is a different kettle of fish than anything that he has ever played against, I think.
Absolutely, as Levi does pick up the Zhonya's there, so going to have a bit of safety moving forward.
He's 6 items.
Yeah.
Just upgrade that Dark Seal to Magi's, you're done.
At this point, do you upgrade the Dark Seal to Magi's, or do you build a real item?
What are you talking about? Magi's is a real item at 10 stacks.
I assume you just sit on it for a while until you can build a big component, because a 10-stack Dark Seal would be worth a lot of value comparatively to something like a needlessly large rod or blasting rod or something like that, yeah.
He's not going needlessly large rod. That only builds into
Death Cap, mate.
Death Cap or Archangel. And I don't think he's stacked his tier yet.
Yeah, so. The 31-minute tier purchase would be a bit iffy. They have... on the Gigabyte Marines, been fairly unlucky with their dragons this game. Triple Ocean isn't going to do too much for them. It's probably helping Archie in the split a little bit, but without Baron pushing on this top wave, I don't think they're going to get too much out of it. The Jin Traps have done a lot of work on the wave already, and Shiv does the rest.
Well, let's see what they can get with this. Archie is still pushing the bottom side of the map. Teleport is available for him and Dockler.
Good ward on the inhibitor means that they can see whoever cheats across, and that's when you go aggressive. If you see something like a Zyra and a Syndra go across, FBI playing on a knife's edge again, trying to dodge out on skill shots.
Does have the QSS up though.
Oh yeah, that's true. Big respect.
Rhymer cheating down towards the bottom lane, seeing if he can pick up a pick onto Archie.
But look at Archie's communication. Archie backs away and says, someone else is here. You guys can push in a little bit more aggressively, start sweeping out wards. And now that he knows that Rhyme is shown again, he can actually move up into the 1v1.
Yeah, but as we were saying, the push on this top side without Baron isn't going to be all that effective. Ryoma is floating down to the bot side, but at the end of the day, if without the Baron buff, if Gigabyte Marines try and force on the top wave, Zyra's just going to blow an E ulti on the wave. It's all going to die, and they're not going to really get anything out of it. So Sin do have out.
Oh, Juice going for the engage. They knock back Levi. He's locked down as well. Pops the Zonyas instantly. Redemption will come through as well. Good stun from Roma. They kill Levi, but Roma will pay for it. No way though, taking critical shots one by one. He takes down Roma. Juice goes back in for another fight. Double kill picked up by the AD carry. Gigabyte Marines still come out on top.
And I think that Sin just went a little bit too far there because they had the free pick, but instead they overextend. No way really plays that one aggressively. Now their base turrets are under siege and they might lose a second inhibitor.
And Archie's already wailing down on the bottom lane inhibitor turret. No way in the backlines. He's taking the turret. He takes down Rogue. He wants FBI as well. Come back here, Jid. I want another kill. Every single inhibitor turret is under attack. Sia is using an ultimate to get somewhere else across on the map. Doppler is still defending bottom lane inhibitor, but is being pincered. FBI comes down here to help him out, or potentially just run away from the Gigabyte Marines. Shield from Optimus keeping Sierra alive. Tries to throw the command attack back his way. Optimus still looking for more. More Mount Mortis will keep him alive as well. They slowly push them off the turret, but they lose their bottom lane inhibitor turret. Their top lane inhibitor turret should fall shortly after. Juice has respawned, looking to defend his base. Archie tries to determine with a couple of shurikens. FBI, good creep, teleport behind. Doppler wants this. Gonna come in, sees the sacrificial lands. He finds no way, jumps on his head. Shockwave back up already. Doppler forced to flash away. They get no way. They're still chasing for more. Juice wants another body slam. Archie's kiting him back. He's gonna throw a keg at him. Rymer looking for the stuns. Good captive orders. FBI pops up the second curtain call of this team fight. But Archie just lightning rushes away from it. Gets the first kill. Optimus gets that. Look who's back. It's Levi. He wants everyone to die. The Elise is gonna chase him down. FBI sidesteps the Cocoon. He gets sped up by Oriana, still wants more, and finally this team fight's over.
And that was just a never-ending fight. We ran all the way from the top inhib down to bot into the jungle there, and No Way just has so much confidence and so much trust in Sia there. He just man-modes straight under the turret, runs at Rogue on the Zyra, just auto-attacks him to death, runs at FBI, knowing if he ever gets in trouble, Sia's right behind him to pick him up, and they just absolutely wipe the floor with Sin. Get the bot inhib on the way out, and now they're probably going to set up topside around the Baron.
And I think the reason, like, people would have been like, they could have got 2 inhibs there. And I think that was playing very aggressively if they went for the 2 inhib. But instead, they just go for the guaranteed 1. And it's on the opposite side of the map from where Baron is going to be spawning. So now with 2 exposed inhibs, one of them being down, no teleport available from Doppler, this should be a Baron that Gigabyte Marines pick up. By the way, that is a very fed Oriana and Varus just out of nowhere. 11-2-6.
Yeah, that's a big score. And Levi's looking for the pick on the Gene. He doesn't get it. But as you said, this is the Baron inhib. They do go for the risky setup in the bot side jungle. They're trying to get a pick in the bot side, but absolutely nobody's there.
I just love how Levi dies at the start of the team fight, comes back for the end of it, and he's back to 10 stacks of his Dark Seal. Like,
gets the round 2.
My goodness. Baron's coming up in 15 seconds. Gigabyte Marines in firm control of this game. 10,000 gold up over Sin. You have to think Legacy backstage now, warming up, getting ready for this big match they'll have next if Sin fall here.
Yeah, they're throwing around the fidget spinners real quickly at the moment.
Ooh, they're charging at No Way. He's forced to use the ultimate. Doppler's still going. Jumps on a minion wave. Captain Morris will lock him down. But look at No Way. Just stands and delivers. Says, come at me. Not even 5 members of Sin can take me down. Archie wants the lightning rush in. Will lock down Ryoma. That's the first carry dead. Doppler's already so low. Cast of Juice is lackluster and knocks the Gigabyte Marines even further forward. He's going to try and sacrifice himself. They want nothing to do with the fat man. They're going for the juicy backline. 2 kills picked up by Gigabyte Marines.
Yeah, and that actually might be gain. You can see that they're already ulting forward, looking to catch out either Doppler or Rogue. They're going to march creeps into the base, and with death timers still at 40 seconds, I do not know if there is anything Sin can do.
And 2 super minions on the base. Optimus looking for a kill on FBI. He'll pick that one up. We don't even need to watch it because base turrets are being destroyed. Cinderella story of the gauntlet run stops right here. They're putting the baton in Legacy and Direwolf's hands as Gigabyte Marines come out with a win.
And honestly, it just looked like Gigabyte Marines had all the answers to Sin that game. They They stood up to them in the early game, and then Archie, as you said, very smart play on the cannon in the side lane, and they just got the picks they needed. Levi absolutely doing a ton of work on the Sork Boots Elise. We questioned the purchase, but had an absolutely fantastic game, and I think is worth its merit.
Yeah, they're not even perturbed by that. I mean, they came into this, they knew that they had to do the heavy lifting. That's game one, 35-ish minutes. They're well and truly warmed up, and I think that they would have good respect for Sin, and they should, because Sin's actually played a stellar day of League of Legends, but one task too many, and the Gigabyte Marines were a much better squad.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the start of the story we were talking about. Is this the start of Gigabyte Marines? Okay, they've taken out the 3rd seed, they've taken out Sin. Next game, they're facing off against Legacy, and then potentially, do they get the 1v3 versus the Direwolves? We'll find out.
Yeah, we certainly will. I do want to take a moment to concentrate on Sin, however, because that game, Dockler stood up. Juves was out-jungled, I think it's very fair to say. But Dockler, in the split pushes Kennen, was getting attacked time and time again and was incredibly relevant as the game progressed. So hats off to the young man. And I think that their rookies in Ryoma and FBI can really hold their head high. I mean, Optimus is a fantastic mid laner. Ryoma was there with him. FBI actually had a very good early game again. So Sin should definitely not be disappointed by that play.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely since it's their first international tournament, this is the kind of event where they've played so well, and then once they come back to the OPL and they get their next shot at an international event, this is the experience that they fall back on as rookies, and it's only up, and they can only grow from here.
So what information have Gigabyte Marines given away now? Because that's the big question for Oceania. Legacy and Direwolves have had the luxury of watching that game. If Legacy loses this one, Direwolves have been able to watch too. What can Legacy take away from that game that they need to use in their match?
I mean, if nothing else, that Levi is going to attack you in the jungle position, and that you have to be prepared for it. There needs to be more protection, because Optimus, time and time again, was cheating into Fog of War, and they're not Chaos style anymore. They seem to be relatively well set up, and unlike the other two squads that we've seen out of the GPL, are happy to play 1-4 splits and are happy to force objectives.
Yeah, and they're just very different from the other two squads, and also willing to pick themselves into the bad matchups in the bot lane, pick the Tahm Kench into the Zyra, knowing they're going to get the counter pick, and then giving the leash to Levi, putting all their eggs in his basket, knowing that he can punish Juves in that matchup. He gets the invade on top side, takes away the first blue, and only snowballs further from there.
Yeah, very curious to see how Legacy is going to do in this matchup but for Gigabyte Marines. Again, they're just such a powerhouse.
They're terrifying. They're
favorites coming
terrifying.
To this.
I mean, when you have a look at that squad, they don't have a bad player across the board. And then they play well as a team. So you can't really say much high, and apparently they've got a legendary coach as well. So there's not many more things you can throw on top of a team and like try and explain just how good they are. They are a classy squad.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about the players on an individual level, how there's no one really slacking there, but it's also, as I was mentioning in the top dive, they just have so much trust, especially in the bot lane between Sia and Noe. Just absolute faith in his support to be able to eat him out of CC. Sia had a great performance on the Tahm. His score looked abysmal for like most of the game, but he was saving people left, right, and center out of mistakes, out of a Syndra stun, out of a Jhin root. He was just always there when he needed to be, and yeah, really kept them in the game.
I mean, as did Archie's score. Levi took so many of the early kills. I think at one point he was 0-2-8 at that. And if you're 8-2-0 as a Kennen, you run over the top of the split push. But he didn't play like he was. He played like he was equal. He pushed up the lane. He waited for his team. When he was being collapsed on, he communicated it. They forced into the top lane. I mean, there are so many players that, like, why are you raving about the Tahm Kench? He, like, was 0-5 or something. Like, why are you raving about the 0-2 Kennen? It's because they're role players and they're playing their role fantastically well, and they're trusting that the rest of the carries will actually do their job.
And with that, Gigabyte Marines were able to take down the 3rd seed from Oceania of Sin. Their gauntlet run stops here, and they're now relying on Legacy as well as Direwolves to pick up their victories. And coming up next will be Legacy taking on Gigabyte Marines. Don't go anywhere. Dockler is going to try and walk off this one. Cocoon comes out, still lands. Great skill shot being thrown up by Levi. They're going on forward. First blood is picked up by Levi.
Flash.
They're trying to run away from this one. They know something is fishy with Noe and Sia charging forward. No flash from Archie. Can he get away? No flash from FBI. He's going to try and cut this one out. Goes with Sia. Grey on pop. Rogue will fall first. Can he get a return kill? He at least trades 2 for 1. Won't be able to take down anyone else. A good ultimate coming out from the Zyra. Shockwave hits 2. FBI and Ryoma both the carries for Sin. Levi cleans up 1, goes for the support next. We'll be able to get a kill there. FBI trying to help him out. He might have just run into his own death. Shutdown coming out for the jungler. Levi wants 3. He gets 3 kills. Levi in trouble. Dockler says, all right, I've got to try and kill Archie at least.
Flash on his head.
Let's see if he can do it. Levi jumps on top of it and knocks him away. Archie can just turn around and throw a shuriken. Cocoon doesn't land. He dodges it. Dockler still wants it. Can he get it? He gets it. Big outplay from Dockler. Shockwave gets flashed out by Ryoma. 3,000 health. Levi looking for the steal. Juve's already in there. Levi jumps in. Does he get it? Taken away by Juice, but big team fight coming out of Gigabyte Marines. They lose nobody and ace Sin. Oh, Juice going for the engage. They knock back Levi. He's locked down as well. Pops the Zonyas instantly. Redemption will come through as well. Good stun from Roma. They kill Levi, but Roma will pay for it. No way though, taking curtain call shots one by one. He takes that Roma. Juice goes back in for another fight. Double kill picked up by the AD carry. Gigabyte Marines still come out on top. And 2 super minions on the base. Optimus looking for a kill on FBI. He'll pick that one up. We don't even need to watch it because base toes are being destroyed. Cinderella story of the gauntlet run stops right here. They're putting the baton in Legacy and Direwolf's hands as Gigabyte Marines come out with a win.